Hey everyone, ready to learn some extraordinary truths about the Paris 2024 Olympics? It might look like the perfect time to visit this famous city, but there's more going on than the shiny events you see on TV. From elevated rental prices and students getting kicked out to transportation problems and racism issues. We're going to explain why you might want to think twice before buying those tickets. Stay with us as we reveal the real story behind the upcoming games and the challenges Paris is dealing with as the world gets ready to watch. The Olympics are often seen as a celebration of sportsmanship, unity, and global competition. Paris, known for its rich history, stunning architecture, and cultural significance, is set to host the 2024 Olympics. In this video, we'll dive into the 10 reasons why the Paris 2024 Olympics might not be as glamorous as they appear. One of the biggest worries for anyone planning a trip to Paris during the 2024 Olympics is finding a place to stay without breaking the bank. As the Olympics approach, the demand for accommodation in Paris is increasing, leading to a major increase in prices. We're talking about a substantial rise in room and apartment rates, with some places charging 3, 4, or even 5 times their usual price. A cozy little apartment in a pleasant Parisian neighborhood that normally rents for a reasonable price now costs as much as a luxury hotel. And it's not just the popular areas. Even the less fancy places are seeing prices go way up. Some landlords are taking advantage of the tourist increase by renting out their properties illegally, which drives prices even higher. For the average tourist, this means you might struggle to find an affordable place to stay unless you're ready to spend a lot of money. The financial strain and frustration of planning your dream trip to Paris only to face high rental costs can be overwhelming. It's not just tourists feeling the pinch, though. Locals are being affected too. Many Parisians who rent their homes are facing pressure from landlords who see the Olympics as an opportunity to cash in. This leads to all sorts of problems, including evictions and dislocation. It's a messy situation that adds a layer of stress and uncertainty to what should be a time of excitement and celebration. A big problem that is casting a shadow over the Paris 2024 Olympics is that students are being evicted from their homes. As the Olympics get closer, landlords see a chance to make more money. They're kicking students out of their apartments to rent them to tourists for much higher prices. It's harsh and unsettling for a student already dealing with the stress of exams and assignments to find out they are being forced out of their home so the landlord can make extra cash.
Students in the city are not only preparing for exams, but also temporary eviction.
The impact on students is huge. Many are struggling to find new places to live in an already crowded and costly housing market. Some might even have to leave the city. This isn't just a trouble, it messes up their education and their lives. Moving is costly, time-consuming, and stressful. For international students, it's even harder since they might not have the resources or support to handle such sudden changes. Another less evident but extremely troubling issue surrounding the Paris 2024 Olympics is the treatment of the homeless population.
Ça a été passé, c'est-à-dire à 6 heures du matin.
As Paris gears up to welcome visitors from across the globe, there's been a determined effort to clean up the city, often at the cost of its homeless residents. Homeless individuals have been gradually displaced from their usual spots in parks, under bridges, and other public areas. Authorities argue this is necessary to improve the city's image and guarantee the comfort and safety of tourists. However, critics contend that this approach simply masks homelessness instead of tackling its primary causes.
And then you arrive and you're welcomed by the sidewalk and you have to live under a tent and there's nobody to really help you. It's the toughest life conditions I've ever saw.
The displacement of homeless people raises major ethical concerns, highlighting the fragile balance between promoting tourism and supporting the rights and dignity of weak populations. Several advocacy groups and concerned citizens have spoken out against these measures, advocating for balanced solutions that offer support and housing stability to homeless individuals. One of the controversial issues surrounding the Paris 2024 Olympics is the French government's ban on wearing hijabs during the Games, which has sparked extensive debate and criticism from activists. France's secularism laws, known as laïcité, have long been a foundation of its national identity. However, the ban on hijabs in Olympic settings has been viewed by many as discriminatory and a violation of religious freedom. Activists argue that such restrictions violate athletes' rights to express their religious beliefs while participating in international sporting events.
Standing together means being clear. The abaya has no place in our schools.
As Paris prepares to host the 2024 Olympics, France finds itself in large political chaos. Just a month before the Games, the country will hold legislative elections on June 30th and July 7th, 2024. These elections were initiated by President Emmanuel Macron's decision to dissolve the National Assembly following the 2024 European Parliament elections, where both the far-right National Rally and the left-wing New Popular Front made extensive gains. The rush of the far-right National Rally, which secured a notable 33.15% of the vote in the first round of legislative elections alongside its conservative allies, has sparked concerns about potential implications for the Olympics. Critics fear that a far-right government could influence the atmosphere surrounding the Games, potentially impacting international relations and the event's overall image. Despite these fears, Michael Payne, former head of marketing at the IOC, remains confident that the Olympics themselves will steer clear of political controversies. He pointed to widespread political and public support apparent during the current torch relay, indicating that the Games are unlikely to become involved in political disputes. As Paris gets ready for the 2024 Olympics, one big concern is transportation. Lots of people are expected to come to Paris for the Games. This will put a lot of pressure on the city's transportation system. Buses, trains, and the Paris Metro, which everyone relies on, will be very busy. One problem will likely be too many people needing buses and trains. This could mean crowded rides, longer waits, and maybe changes to the usual schedules. For Parisians trying to get around during the Olympics, this could be challenging. There's also a chance of strikes. Strikes happen often in France, and big events like the Olympics can make them more likely. If there's a strike during the Games, it could cause a lot of problems for both locals and visitors, making travel difficult and frustrating. One of the most important decisions for the Paris 2024 Olympics is to have the opening ceremony on the iconic Seine River, a first in Olympic history. This idea was meant to make the event more open to the public, but it hasn't been without its issues. At first, they planned for 600,000 people to watch the ceremony, but due to security concerns, that number was cut to 300,000. Minister of the Interior Gerald Darmanin made this decision to balance letting people attend with keeping everyone safe. It shows how difficult it is to organize such a huge event. A big point of dispute was the shift of the bouquinistes, the traditional booksellers along the Seine. These ethnic icons were going to be moved for security reasons. After strong advocacy and intervention by President Emmanuel Macron, they will stay put, preserving their important place in Parisian culture. Using the Seine for the ceremony signifies Paris's wish to show off its beauty and history to the world, but it also brings up complex logistical and ethical issues. Before the Paris 2024 Olympics, Saudi Arabia recommended using Les Invalides, a historic place in Paris, as a village for athletes. This idea caused a lot of debate. Les Invalides is very important in French history. It was built in the 17th century for war veterans and has Napoleon Bonaparte's tomb. People love it for its beauty and what it represents about France's military past. The Saudi proposal wanted to turn parts of Les Invalides into housing for Olympic athletes. Many in France, like politicians and history lovers, are against this. They say Les Invalides isn't just any place, it's a symbol of France's identity and shouldn't be used for business reasons. France and Saudi Arabia are talking about this idea, but critics still disagree. They say Les Invalides should stick to its history and not be used for business, even for the Olympics. People who like the idea think hosting athletes at Les Invalides would show off Paris's history and its ability to hold big sports events. They say if it's done cautiously and respects the site's history, it could be a good spot for the Olympics. One big issue is the choice of singer Aya Nakamura for the opening ceremony. Aya Nakamura is a French singer of Malian descent. Some people criticize this decision with racist comments, saying she wasn't the right person to represent French culture on a global stage. This controversy showed ongoing racial tensions and the challenges that people from diverse backgrounds face in being recognized and accepted. There are also worries about racism in French society, specifically during big events like the Olympics. Critics say that even though France talks about equality and unity, racism and discrimination still happen. This affects how complete and distinct the games seem to people. On a global scale, discussions about racial injustice have made these issues more important. The world watches host countries like France thoroughly to see if they support tolerance and respect. Any racism or discrimination during the Olympics gets a lot of attention and criticism. As Paris gets ready for the Olympics, dealing with these racism controversies is important. It's about taking action to fight discrimination and promote variety, so the Games truly show justice and unity that are the core values of the Olympic spirit. Another challenge is that there is a shortage of security guards for the Paris 2024 Olympics. To tackle this, organizers are recruiting retired individuals who are eager to help. According to the newspaper Le Monde, in early July 2024, there are still about 2,300 security positions unfilled, which is a big gap in their plans. With so many visitors expected, there's also a worry about small crimes like pickpocketing and scams. Keeping people safe in busy places and popular spots will need a lot of police and good planning. There's also a big concern about cyber attacks that could hack into systems or steal information. They need strong security to protect digital stuff and private details. And then there's the worry about terrorist attacks, especially after what happened at Crocus City Hall in Moscow recently. The French government is on high alert and has sent 7,000 troops to keep everyone safe. Even though the Olympic places will have lots of guards, they're worried that attackers might try other spots like fan zones, hotels, and transport places, knowing that the security plans have been lost 3 times by members of the organization in the last few months. There are also groups getting ready to protest the Olympics, and that could cause trouble. Some are against the Olympics, and others care about the environment. They might cause problems that stop people from traveling or getting into events. And that's a wrap on why the Paris 2024 Olympics might not be as ideal as they seem. It's important to know the full story before making any travel plans. If you find this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. Beyond the glitz and excitement we see on TV, there's a lot more going on beneath the surface, from organizational challenges to ethical debates that affect not only the athletes, but also the host city and its residents. It's important to stay informed and critically examine the decisions that shape such major events. While the Olympics aim for unity and excellence, the road to achieving these goals can sometimes be complex. If you find this video interesting, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. I have plenty more to share about the intriguing and occasionally troubling world of global events. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and keep questioning. See you in the next video.